Oh, good Lord. You need a pat?
Hi, Bookends! Welcome to a 10-minute book review. I'm 10.
I'm 2.
And today's book review is going to be on... Ma'am?
Something about marriage.
Oh my god.
What?
Okay, Marriage Be Hard by Kevin and Melissa Fredricks.
Am I wrong? I mean, listen. It's not like I can hold it in my hand like that. You know I typically hold it. And I didn't hold it. Now that's your phone. I don't care.
So anyway, today's book review is on Marriage Be Hard by Kevin and Melissa Fredricks. If those names don't sound familiar, think about Kevin on Stage, the comedian that we have mostly seen showcased on Instagram.
Not me.
Facebook.
Not me.
And in person.
Not me.
Sometimes YouTube.
No.
A star rating on a scale of 1 to 10.
I ain't fronting.
I would give this book a 10. I honestly wish that something like this existed before I got married. It probably did, but not in this capacity and not spoken about in this way. So I give it a 10. And for a rating, I would say PG-13, honestly, because there's nothing in there that would scandalize a 13-year-old. But I also don't think a 13-year-old would actually be actively reading this. I don't think anyone younger would be reading this unless they're actually actively contemplating marriage. If a 13-year-old saw it, they wouldn't be scandalized, but also a 13-year-old wouldn't be interested in it. So it's PG-13, but really geared towards either adults or perhaps younger people who are actually contemplating marriage. 2 has a different feeling.
I really do.
Okay, what's your star rating?
As I said earlier, I am giving this an NA. Meaning, therefore, that's right, I'm not giving any stars at all. I said that I wasn't going to, and I'm standing exactly by that. I'm not giving it a rating whatsoever.
Okay, so nothing from 2.
No.
So to give you like a brief background for this book, as you know, Kevin is a comedian, and he had a podcast with his wife on relationships and sex, like couple relationship and sex. So basically that's what this book is about. It's a couple's book on marriage. And I say couples because it's the both of them in it. We listened to the audiobook version of it.
Yeah.
But it's essentially both of them in it. So that's why I say couples. But if someone was single and was contemplating marriage, they could also get just as much out of it as someone who is coupled up and married.
But it's also the concept of what a man thinks and what a woman thinks.
Yeah. So someone who's single could, whether they're male or female or don't know, they could still get something out of this. It's not just made for couples, and it's also just not made for singles. So some things that we really liked, starting off with, I'll start off with the stuff we liked, and 2 will tell you stuff that she didn't. 2 be doing too much and hurt her arm.
That's not true. That is not true again. Girl, you and these lies, I'm telling you.
She was doing too much and hurt her
Why
right
don't you
arm.
pay? You know how people have to pay money when they curse? You need to put money in the jar for these lies you be sitting here telling.
Everybody who can use both their hands, put both hands up. Everyone who can use both their hands, put both hands up.
You know what?
If you can only use one of your hands, put your good hand up.
So you know what?
I said, 2 was doing too much.
You doing too much right now.
Herself.
You doing too much.
One more time, everybody who has 2 working hands, put your hands in the air.
Whatever. I'll put my body through.
Whoop whoop.
You know,
wave it out.
You such a jerk.
Anyway.
Oh my God.
Anyway, the first thing that really got to me in this book was when Melissa mentioned about sex. So she grew up in the church. Now, neither one of us grew up in a church. We did grow up religiously, but we didn't grow up in a church. It was nice. But, yeah, so one thing that she mentioned that when you grow up in the Christian faith especially in the black church, is a lack of sexual education. It's so weird. It is so weird. Because growing up religiously as well, it's like sex is not talked about at all. At all. And then the only things that are talked about in regards to sex is do not have it is like, don't touch yourself. You know, we don't want to get well, we're not monetized, but we don't want to get like the video cut. So like, just to make it like
too explicit.
Yeah, because YouTube will take it off. So just to be like clear, like, you know, we've learned about, you don't touch yourself. You don't make yourself happy. If you're catching on, you don't make yourself happy by touching yourself, and you also don't touch others. That's basically the extent of sexual education when it comes to like people who are in the black church and people who grow up religiously for the most part. And so when she got older and she was getting married, this is especially for girls. For guys, they're relaxed about it. It's like, do what you want to do. But for girls, it's like, ooh, you don't, keep yourself pure. Keep yourself pure. The Bible loves you. You know, keep yourself pure. Jesus will love you. Keep yourself pure. Like kind of that kind of thing. And so she said that when she got married, or when she was even contemplating marriage after she'd been proposed to, the idea of sex was so foreign. It was something I'm not supposed to do. It's a, I don't want to say a bad thing, but it's a taboo thing. So that was interesting that she mentioned that, because it is true. A second thing that she mentioned, I identified with this one right here. Like when she was saying, like in the movies, they make it out like sex is like this big, grandiose, wonderful thing, and the first time you have this, like, oh, the heavens have opened. Yeah, that's not how sex works. And I think that's also an issue too, because if you're growing up in a household or in a church or what have you, where sex is no COVID, I have allergies. But if you're growing up in a house,
some water?
Yes, please, thank you. Hold on. I'm sorry, we took a water break because no COVID, just allergies. Okay, but yeah, so in the movies they make it out like sex is the end all, be all, get all, it's the best feeling ever. And then once you have it for the first time, it's like the heavens open up and it's like, wow, I've never known something as beautiful as it. And that's not how it works. I don't think doing anything for the first time feels that great. I'm just being honest. Kissing for the first time, it's like, where do my lips go? Like, I know they go on this person's lips, but if my eyes are closed, how am I going to find their lips? Oh, great, now I'm kissing their chin. Are his lips on my nose? And great, how's my nose feel? You know, like the very first kiss you've ever gotten, probably ain't that great, especially if the person is like a salamander, but I'm keeping that to myself. We've all met the salamander. We all met, yeah, somebody who's like a salamander who just doesn't know what to do with their oh, shut up. Anyway. You know, so the first time kissing it wasn't that great. Also, the first time having sex isn't great, because it's like your body is literally like, what is this and why is it happening? You know, so it's not, the first time for anything isn't that great. But I remember watching Friends. Well, I didn't watch Friends, so I didn't really like Friends.
I did.
I remember.
I do.
Yeah. I remember there was like this one episode. Don't ask me what the episode is, because I don't know it. Don't ask me whatever else happened in the episode or who else was in it. I don't know it. But the lady with the middle part,
Rachel?
Yeah, Rachel. She was saying something about she was dating a guy, and she was, or something, some kind of situation about sex came up, and she was like, by the third date he had both of my breasts named. And I remember being younger and thinking, okay, guys name your body parts, like they give it. I was thinking, what was George and Eddie, like, I don't know, I couldn't figure out the concept of someone naming someone's chest. But also in that episode they made out like sex was like this wonderful, awesome thing, when really sex is just sex, you know, especially the first time having it. And so Melissa was saying that when she had sex for the first time with Kevin, she was confused. It wasn't bad, he wasn't hurting her, it wasn't, you know, non-consensual. It was consensual, they were married, and she initiated it. But when she didn't feel the fireworks and the rock candy and the, you know, all this wonderfulness, she's like, I'm not doing it right. I don't know. Third thing that she brought out that I really liked is asking questions about sex, or is showing an interest in sex, and so therefore it's forbidden. I hated that going up. If I had any sexual questions, those sexual questions were met with, why do you want to know? Like, how are babies made? Why do you want to know? How does sex feel? Why do you want to know? What do boys have? Why do you want to know? It was never met with just an actual answer to the question, because asking the question itself was taken as you want to do it. So I thought that was very interesting. Another point. Pardon me. Oh, okay, yes. Okay, so Melissa, I have a lot of points from Melissa because I identified a lot with Melissa. So Melissa was talking about she bought like a nightgown from Macy's or C or something like that, and she's like, I'm sexy because I'm showing my shoulders. She's like, I had spaghetti strap. You know, I don't know. I kind of had the same feeling. I bought myself the sexiest thing I could find from Rainbow. Yes, I went to Rainbow Shop and I was like, I'm going to be sexy.
I like Rainbow.
I do too, but I didn't, like, my idea of being sexy was like being, you know, for my first time was being spaghetti straps, yeah. But yeah, seeing all these people that were considered sexy and one thing that was, you know, kind of a part of it. Because remember, if you're watching like network television, you're not watching HBO, Showtime, things like that. You're not seeing the actual sex. So if you're watching like TBS, WB, things like that, you're seeing what is considered sexual or sexy without seeing sex. And what's the contributing factor to that? Usually shorter clothes, tighter clothes, so, you know, spaghetti straps. So she was like, yeah, I'm sexy in my spaghetti straps. I'm like, yeah, girl, same. Not true, but same. It really, like, I don't know, it depends. Because if it's a guy who's already had sex before, seeing you in your spaghetti straps, is like, oh, cool. That'll make a really nice rug. You can take it off now. Let me see. Oh, okay, this was funny too. So she felt like she was, now Kevin wasn't making her feel like she was obligated to have sex, but she felt like she had to have sex because being told render your due, render your due, render your due, and it's always render your due towards the woman. It's never render your, no one's ever looking at the man like, hey, yo, son, render your due. You know, your girl look like she could use it, render your, no, it's always, oh, he looks stressed, are you rendering your due? If you're not, if you're withholding, that could be a problem. So she felt like she was compelled to have sex, not forced, but compelled to have sex. And I'm like, bruh, if the store is closed, the store is closed. I'm sorry, this is not a 24-hour quickie mart. We have hours. We have hours and days of operation. If you come outside of the hours and days of operation, store is closed. I'm sorry, we do not open up for members. I am so sorry.
Hearing these things, you driving me nuts.
I'm just saying. I'm not compelled.
Okay.
The blood of Christ does not compel me. I'm not compelled to do that. I'm sorry, no.
Listen. All of these things that has been said, I get it. Y'all two are working on the same strip.
He's going to work on it.
I am not.
Oh, okay, let's get into the things that we didn't, well, not we, but that
I didn't
like. I will say that it was told comically. So, like, if you're listening to it, it's not like a, you don't do things well. Like, no, it's basically them talking about their life. They were very honest. Kevin was saying the things that he didn't do well. Melissa was saying things that she didn't do well. Communication was key. She said that she didn't communicate enough, and that he said he didn't look deeper into her communication. Now we're gonna get into the things that we didn't like, though. That 2 didn't like, because remember 2 didn't give a rating and stuff. So let's go into 2.
Oh my Lord. Well, how I feel about it is not an interjection on anybody to take after me, to side with me whatsoever. You know, you are free to continue to go ahead, buy the book or the Audible, however you prefer. So I'm basically saying I'm not casting anybody's influence. But what I will say about it is, for first and foremost, you already have put 2 people. You have 2 people who are already too young. This is my issues. You're too young.
When they first got married or started dating?
Even before they started.
So
because he liked her, she did not like him in return.
Okay, so she's talking about like in high school. That's what she's talking about. Not now. They're both older now. Do we like our parents? Are they our parents' age? No, they're not our parents' age. Are they our parents' age? No.
They're not our parents' age.
No, they're younger than our parents. Like if our parents had really younger siblings, but they're older than us, but younger than our parents. But anyway, yeah, so she's talking about when they were like young, not like what they are now.
So in this situation, it's like they both talk about how different they were. And so as a result, here you have 2 polar opposite people, which they make mention of. First and foremost, it can work out in situations like that, and in other circumstances it could not. To me, what I felt was, this is something forced. I do relate to her on the fact of how she felt in regard to, well, being cold
when they were dating.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But the thing about it is that, first and foremost, you have a guy who's already getting around.
Say it like that. That's mean.
I don't care. I'm telling them what it is. I said, as I said, this flow is going the way it's going. This is going to flow.
Okay.
You have messed around with other people. You both belong to the same church. So therefore, to sit and say, well, I like her, but I'm also over here messing around with these other people.
But he didn't do that while they were dating.
I don't care.
He did that before
I don't
he met
care.
her,
I don't. No, because he liked her.
Yeah.
That was the problem. You can't be sitting around liking somebody, but you also sleeping with somebody over here. You sleeping with several different people.
That don't really bother me though.
No.
As long as you're not in a relationship.
See, here's the thing. You got to understand the meaning of love, liking. When you are feeling these sorts of emotions, you didn't even know yourself. This is my issues. You did not.
Teenagers. I don't count that against them.
I'm counting it.
Because they were teenagers.
I get it. I get that. But I'm still going to count it. My thing is, it's not the fact that she was being cold. She was trying to do what she knew or thought to be best spiritually. Okay? And so as a result, you have a person who's looking at you, but also still playing those fields. So it's like,
he wasn't playing the fields when he was dating her, though.
He wasn't dating her. I get that part.
Yeah.
He wasn't dating her. But he's still out there. That's my point I'm trying to basically make. You're still out there.
You know, I will say this too, because I see where you're going with that. My husband was experienced physically, but I wasn't. So he was like out doing his thing before he met me, and then, you know, when he met me, of course, it's like I said, the store's closed. It wasn't even open yet. The shop had not been built. It was still in construction. I'll put it like that. Like, I was an adult and everything, but I wasn't for sex. But I can see that when we first started dating, I think like the first two years or so of us dating, I can see how I would be called cold. Because when you're raised to think that sex is such a horrible thing, not even a taboo, when you're raised to think that sex is such a horrible thing, unless you're married, then there's this wall that goes up, and it's like, do not, like, sex is bad. Sex is over here. Everyone else, or I should say, sex is over here, you're right here. Sex does not get past here. So if the guy's being nice to you, you can't get past here. No, because you're going to want sex. Guy wants to buy you dinner. No, you can't get past here. He's going to want sex. He wants to hold your hand. No, because that hand holding is going to turn into sex. No, because sex stays out here. So that does come off as being cold when you're not being cold. It's like Tu was saying, you're being spiritually protective. So from the outside looking in, it looks like you're just like a frigid, cold-hearted person. But from the inside looking out, it's like, I need to protect myself from the ultimate sin, which is sex. Like sex, you know, being taught that sex is the ultimate sin. So I need to protect myself by keeping all this other stuff out. So yeah, I can see how that will come off as cold.
Another problem,
pardon me,
was the pressure.
Which one?
That was there on going out on her.
Okay.
You know, so that was an issue for me. Like I said, you're teenagers. You don't know no better when you are a teenager. So as a result, I feel that it was a matter of peer pressure. Like, there's those who want a relationship, and there's those who don't want a relationship. Me, I could care less.
I don't think she was mad at that though.
No, I'm just saying, on my view on it, that if I want to marry, okay, whatever, it'll happen. But quite honestly, I could care less. I like where I stand. You're married. You know, we've talked about things and how you feel in regard to it. And though I do share part of that same particular view and have those same feelings myself, I'm also still like, well, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I take it or leave it. And in a situation like this, that is so sacred, it's so grounded, that as a female, I feel that it's so much more pressure on a female. It's pressure on females or women
either way.
Period.
Yeah.
Because
pressure have sex, pressure not.
Exactly.
I like how the book kind of brought out too that like women are pushed towards virtue, and men are pushed towards justice. And it should be the same. Like if a girl, no sex. It don't matter. No sex. You must be virtuous. You must be a virgin. This is what you're giving to your husband. You know, that was something that they brought on the book. Like, you must be virtuous. Something you must give to your husband. For men, it's not virtue. It's not being a virgin. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with justice. It's like, we're just going to turn a blind eye. But if you get her pregnant, marry her. Because justice. Yeah. So the battery died, but we are back. Okay.
Yeah. So as you were saying, you were talking about the justice or injustice or... Basically, here's the thing as well within this. I actually said to someone, I'm not going to say who he is.
Should we play? Can I guess him?
No.
You let me know.
But I had actually told him, your father doesn't see you the same way he would see his daughter.
A lot of fathers don't.
And the reason why I said this, and he know who he is. I don't want to say who he is. I don't want to say how close to me.
Do I know
or
him?
Non-close. Have you even seen him?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I told him.
Pinkies up, ladies and gentlemen. Pinkies up. Pinkies up.
I told him that this is the case. As far as, and we see it all the time, that it is your daddy's little girl. We love you. You be a good little girl. My son, hey, right on. You go ahead and you do that. Hey, that's not, just like what's that? That's not our problem. That's the parents' problem. If the girl gets pregnant, she has to go and carry out her business.
It had nothing to do with that. And it wasn't that I wanted to save my virginity for my husband as it be a gift to him. Because no, bruh, like, you the one supposed to be giving me a gift, sir. Make it good. I mean, seriously, sir. Seriously. Like, you've been around the block a couple of times. Great. Come park in my parking lot and help me. I'm just saying. It's not my gift to you. It's not my gift to anybody. And that's like a weird freaking gift. It's like, oh, here's your wedding present. What is it? My cervix. Yay! You'll be the first one to take a ride. Congratulations.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, that's not a gift. That's not a gift. So, this is something else I wanted to say. Yes, remember I was telling you about this? Okay, so Melissa mentioned, about after you have sex and when you're a virgin. Like, okay, Melissa, oh my God, like when she said this, it was like from her to me. We share a brain. When she was like, after she had sex with her husband for the first time, she was just laying there thinking, what now? And it wasn't what now, like what do I do with the rest of my life, but because being raised religiously, if you're a girl, a lot of your value is held up in being virtuous, being the virtuous virgin, to deflecting all the interests of the boys until you find the man you want to marry. But then once you find the man you want to marry, and now you've had sex with the man that you want to marry, now it's like, where's my virtue? Like, where's my worth from? And that is a real feeling. And I don't care if anyone admits to it or not, it is a real feeling. Like, if you're a virgin and then you get married, if you do everything, quote unquote, the right way, and you get married and you have sex, that feeling after sex, you are literally laying there thinking, now what? Because I've spent all of my adult life, all of my teenage life, perhaps all my adolescent life, depending on when people start having sex around you, saying, no, I'm holding on to my virginity. No, my virginity is for God. My virginity is for my husband. And then you have sex and it's like, okay, well, I don't have my virginity anymore. Now where does my worth come from? Am I still virtuous? I can't be virtuous if I'm not a virgin. Because once again, sex is not if you're asking about sex, that means you want sex. And so you should not be wanting sex if you're not married. Which I think is kind of oxymoronic, because if you're supposed to have sex when you get married, but also you're not supposed to ask about sex before you get married. How are you going to know how to have sex after you get married if you never asked about how to have sex? And you can't ask how to have sex on the day that you're getting married because you're partying. And who are you going to ask? And keep in mind, Kevin and Melissa come from a time where information wasn't as readily available. I don't think they had Google. I think they had like I don't
remember.
Yeah, I don't think they had Google. I think they had just the library. No,
they're not that much. They're not that old.
They graduated in the 90s. They graduated from high school in the 90s.
Yeah, they're not that old. They're not that old.
But I don't think they had Google in the 90s. I don't think they graduated in 97 or something. Yeah, he graduated, and I think she graduated after him. So I think he graduated in 97. And so I guess she graduated, I think she's like 2 years younger than him or something.
See, that's what I'm saying.
So I think
she has been around for a while. There's no way they had to have had.
But then not everybody had a computer and stuff. You know, because remember they weren't rich. Because remember they were living like in a basement.
That's true.
But yeah, overall, I think it was a pretty, I would say that the book was funny. It was a funny book. And it made learning about different things easy. Now, do they go into the in-depth of the birds and the bees with sex? Absolutely not. No. Because the age of the person getting this book should already have an idea of how sex works. Shut up! How sex works. Do they go into the ins and outs of starting a relationship? No. Because someone who's getting this book should have an idea of how to start a relationship. What they do go into is how to maintain a relationship, how to keep that relationship fresh, and how to start communicating. Because even with sex, I think everyone would have had a better experience, honestly, if communication had just been had. Such as Kevin had already had sex before, so he could have been like, hey babe, this, you know, no, actually no, I'm not even gonna lie. Because if you're from the other side looking in, if you're working with a virgin, it's impossible to say, hey, this will feel good because I've never had sex before. And see, so they don't know. And
that was the other point. This video is long. It's too long.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit a lot, but
that was the other thing too, that he had already had the experience of sex. He married her. To me, it says selfish. However, I would just like to say the reason why I say it is because you still cheat on her anyway.
He didn't cheat on her.
He cheated on her.
Oh, that was later though.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. You still cheat on her anyway. This is your wife. You vowed to love her. This mindset is just too much of a. I get it. Marriage be hard, but this is just downright insane to me. Therefore, this is why I said this is not rateable for me.
I just want this to be recorded. If my husband ever cheated on me, I would never hurt that man.
She's a liar. Because there are things that she has.
Bro, I'm trying not to go to jail. Something else I don't like too, though. Like when a guy cheats on a woman and they're married, it's always this, make it work.
Exactly. I don't like that because of the fact that they feel like, oh, well, you know, this is the kicker. I'm a man.
I have needs.
Exactly. You wasn't there. You wasn't showing me the attention and affection that I need. Open up your mouth and say, what is the problem? A person shouldn't have to force it out of you just to get you to talk.
Exactly.
Vice versa now. Don't get me wrong. It is a vice versa because that does happen. When you have some women who don't want to talk. Like me, I don't want to talk, but I will talk. I just feel like, let me get my thoughts together first. Let me get my words together. Let me think about what it is, okay, that I want to say. Because then by doing that, I can speak to you calmly, rationalize with you, understand what it is that you're trying to say to me, so then that way it doesn't turn into a battle.
Yeah, I like something else that they brought out too, like about roles, like, because this is how I am too. I'm more about roles than jobs. And it's not even about gender roles, like, oh, the woman takes care of the kids. No. It's about
that's
roles.
Your kid too, so it's both your effort.
I'm more so about roles than I am about actual jobs. And so they were saying that too, like not gender roles, like women do this and men do that. It's what do I enjoy doing, or what do I do well? Not even enjoy, because chores are chores. But what do I do well as opposed to what does my husband do well? So when it comes to garbage, I don't do bugs, and I'm not that great with pests. Why do I say that? Outside of the garbage, Could be a roach with a knife ready to hurt me. I don't know. I don't know. Am I going to find out? No. He's not afraid of the roach with a knife. He'll step on the roach with a knife and then drop the garbage into the garbage thing.
Makes it even worse because I can picture that.
It's like, give me your money. But my husband's not afraid of that. Like he'll live with, he'll do that. If there's a rat outside, like chilling out.
Oh God.
He'll be like, here's the garbage. Have at it. Whatever. I'm gonna be staring at the rat like. I'm gonna be staring at the rat like, sorry, I don't have any money. Sorry, I have no money. Get away from me. So my husband is better suited for taking out the trash. Now, when it comes to cooking, my husband cannot cook. If you want to be sick, he'll cook to make you something that'll make you throw up. He baked spam once. So if you know what spam is, he baked spam once. No. So that's the thing that I take care of. So yes, this has been a book review for Marriage Be Hard by Kevin and Melissa Franklin. Franklin? Did I say Franklin? I'm so used to him just being Kevin on stage. Fredericks, I'm sorry. Kevin and Melissa Fredricks. Or aka Kev on stage. I think Melissa is just Melissa. Not that that's downplaying her or anything, but I don't think she has it's just Melissa. I gave the book a 10 out of 10. I would definitely recommend it. In fact, if I knew anyone who was getting married, I would definitely have this on the repertoire of things I buy for people who are getting married. As a rating for like who could read it or something, I'd still say it's PG-13, even though this would not be something that a 13-year-old would be interested in. But I wouldn't slap it off a 13-year-old's hand if I saw them holding it. And 2, you said NA.
I'm still NA.
For how many stars. So that's for how many stars. And it's NA for the rating.
And I's NR.
Oh, okay. So not rated for whether or not a child can read it. And then no stars. Well, not 0. There's not like
it's not a 0. No,
it's
just not a 0.
Grade it for stars.
Because as I said, I'm not being biased or prejudiced against it. It's just so many elements excuse me, that's within it that could make me become like that. And in order to where I diminish any of those sorts of things, I would rather leave it blank. And then for whoever feels like, well, I wouldn't mind, as they've gotten to see from our 2 very different sides on it, you can be your own judge on what you prefer to do.
And just to throw it on in there, we're still doing our giveaway, so that someone's going to be announced at the end of October. So for the giveaway, all you have to do is like the video and write your your favorite audiobook or favorite book that you read this year in the comments. You can also join in by going to Instagram or Twitter and doing the exact same thing. Alright, thank you so much for watching. This has been a book review from 10 and 2. Bye,
Time to eat.